Today on the Front Row Dads podcast, we welcome back Dr. Robert Glover. He is a relationship and intimacy expert and author of the bestseller, No More Mr. Nice Guy. He has dedicated his career to helping men overcome the self-defeating nice guy syndrome. He teaches guys to prioritize their needs, establish healthy boundaries, and embrace their authentic self. Dr. Glover empowers men to build fulfilling relationships, increase confidence, and navigate modern marriage dynamics with genuine masculinity and purpose.
Robert.
There, I gave him the fake laugh. That was a real laugh.
That was good. That was good. What do men need to know about attracting women?
About attracting women. It depends on what men we're talking about. Talking about front row dads?
Yeah, let's talk front row dads.
Because they want to attract women.
Yeah. Their wives, their spouses, of course, not judging. There might be people that want to attract other women as well.
All right. No judgment involved. I've been saying something for a while that seems to resonate whenever I say it. It's really simple, and that is the feminine. I'm going to speak of the feminine in highly energetic terms, like yin and yang feminine. That the feminine is highly attracted to a man who's comfortable in his own skin, knows where he's going, and looks like he's having a good time getting there. So if a man, wherever he's at in life, wants to attract the feminine, women, dogs, cats, babies, money, adventure, opportunity. Work at getting comfortable in your own skin. I mean, liking you, taking good care of you, working on getting rid of your shame, anything that says I'm not good enough, those voices. Get comfortable in your own skin. Figure out where you're going. Figure out why you're here, what you want to be doing, where your sweet spots are, what really turns you on and excites you. And in that process, you'll look like you're having a good time. And the feminine is just highly attracted to it. Whenever I say that to female dating coaches, they go, kind of like, yeah, that's the man that they want to connect with.
Yeah.
So we can break all that down.
Years ago, I remember I was at a concert with my buddy, John Kane, and he said to me something very similar. He said, just be the guy that's there to enjoy the show. And,
perfect.
And it was the
perfect
perfect
Can you
advice.
expand that to life?
Yeah.
Just be the guy that's here to enjoy this experience of
exactly.
a few short years on this planet.
Yeah. When men try to do that, when they try to be comfortable in their skin, when they try to be the guy at the show, just having a good time, where do they get hung up? Why is that so difficult for people to just take from concept to implementation?
The first thought that comes to mind is thinking too much. Kind of like the sound man was getting us to do fake laughs just to check the sound. And you can't do a fake laugh, just like you can't do a fake smile. And I don't know that you can fake having fun. And I think, based on most of the men I work with, I think our biggest enemy is our thinker. It's just how we think about self, how we think about the world. And so if you're going to go have a good time at a concert, have a good time doing an interview, have a good time, standing in a TSA line at the airport to go somewhere else you want to go, it's usually how we get to thinking about things that gets in the way. Our impatience, why is this happening to me? This is a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. My judgments can come in, my criticism comes in. Sometimes we start questioning, was this a good decision? Why did I think it was a good idea? How are people looking at me? Do I look right? Do I have the right clothes on? Just thinking. And of course, you can't just tell your brain quit thinking, because that's what it does. It's a thinker.
Yeah.
But I would say most men's misery in life comes from their thoughts, not the actual experience they're having in life. Because you and I are sitting here right now, and it's a nice, comfortable, air-conditioned studio, and we could have a wonderful time just enjoying each other's company. Or we were thinking, I hope I do a good job on the interview. You're thinking, I hope this one, I know my wife said this before I left. Or, if we get into our thinkers, we're not going to enjoy this beautiful moment.
Yeah.
But that's what we do.
What keeps you in the moment personally? In your daily practice, what keeps you dropped in your body and having a good time?
Gentlemen, Front Row Dads Live is coming up December 4th through the 6th in Austin, Texas. It's a one-of-a-kind event for men who want to win at home and in business. After last year's event, one of our attendees, Eric, said, Front Row Dads Live created the perfect space to go deep with other men, and it inspired massive changes in every area I needed it. Here I found community, purpose, and a better understanding of who I am meant to be as a father, husband, and leader. Go now to frontrowdads.com/live for more information.
A lot of little different practices I've developed along the way. Like right now, where are your feet at?
Oh, yeah.
I love that phrase. Be where your feet are. And I took my shoes off before we sat down, and I can feel the carpet under my feet, and I always try to just notice my feet. That's a good place to start. And then if you're where your feet are, okay, my feet are here. I guess I'll be here, and then from there, I'll notice breath. I'll notice my body. I'll notice my hunching, or I'll really come back to my frame and being grounded and solid. Breath is a big part of that. And then I'll just start noticing thought, just, kind of standing behind me, noticing what I'm experiencing, and without judgment. And I mean, that's easier said than done. But that whole being able to see myself, both physically, how am I, emotionally, how am I, mentally, what's the experience I'm having in the moment, and not judge it, that's liberating. Because it's usually the judgments tied into our thoughts that weigh on us.
Yeah. We were at breakfast, and you said something.
Oh, I said a bunch of things
after
yesterday morning.
We said a lot of things at breakfast, but we were laughing.
I know every guy went home and told his wife everything
we were laughing and having a good time. And you said something like, "This is why I like hanging out with dudes," or "This is why these conversations with men are so great."
I might have even messaged that to you after you dropped me back off. All my guy friends that know me, they all go, "Okay, Robert's going to say it. He's going to say it." And because I love hanging out with guys.
Yeah.
I just love the energy of, you can say anything, you can tell each other the truth. If you go hang out with women, we straight guys, we don't. The golden rule of masculinity nowadays is don't do anything to piss off a woman. And so, whenever women are around, where we're gauging what we say, okay, was that a little too off color? Is that going to get a frown? Is that going to get, a rebuke? And then, if there's women around that we think are talking back to how to attract them, if all of a sudden we're thinking, oh, how can I make a good impression on her? Now all of a sudden we're worried about what I call the possibility of availability. Is she gonna, want to hang out with me? But with the guys, it's kind of like, hey, even though we were making jokes about two of the guys there sleeping together, on a regular basis, apparently, we can make jokes about that, but we're not really worried. Is this going to influence the future willingness of the person at the table wanting to sleep with me?
Yeah.
Because it's just guys.
That's right.
We're just having a good time. And I may have mentioned at breakfast that, as a species, men throughout all of history spent the majority of our time with guys. It's probably only been since World War II that men even spent very much time at all around women, and including their wives. Because, we went away to World War II. Women went into the factories to build the bombs and the airplanes and to be the nurses. The men finally came back from the war. Many of the women went back to be moms and mothers, but many didn't. And then, as things have progressed and with feminism, the workplace is now more women than men, apparently. Men are kind of falling out of there. But now we have an environment, and I'm not saying it's good or bad, but where men are around women all the time. Mm-hmm. And we have this model with our wives that, like, our wives should be our best friends, and everything's 50-50, and everything's shared, the parenting, the household. And again, I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's not the natural state of affairs for the evolution of human beings, and particularly in terms of human males. We always spent time with men, whether it's tribal time, we're out hunting, gathering, warring, doing, whatever the men did, coming back with, I'd say, with the food, the furs, and the fucks to, bring that back to the women and get up and go do it the next day. Go back before World War II. If our fathers, worked away from the home, they went to the factory, they went to the office, they went to their job, mainly around men, or if we're an agrarian society, out on the farm, with uncles, cousins, grandfathers, little boy, as soon as he can do something outside, he's outside with the men. And I just think that's woven into our DNA, and I think it's where we're the happiest, where we perform the best. And I think, going back to how do you attract women, I think it's one of the things that makes us most attractive to women.
This was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, the more time we spend with women, groups of women or a particular woman, the less attractive they find us. I don't know if it's the familiarity. I don't know if it's like that Pink song, Go Away and Let Me Miss You. Every experience I've had is that the women in my life, when I go away, usually, you know, they're sad, or I'm going to miss you, or blah, 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 or they get insecure or jealous or project what I might be doing. But they're also happy to see me when I get back.
Yeah.
And so it's that time away. It's the emotional tension that holds a relationship and makes it interesting. The best way I know to do it is moving together and coming apart, moving together. If you and I hung out with each other all the fucking time, we'd get on each other's nerves and be wishing the other would go away. But somehow we think because we love our partner, that's not going to happen.
Right.
And I always ask people, I've been doing couples therapy for over 40 years, and I'd ask people, what would you rather have? Would you rather be together a bunch and keep looking for ways to get apart? Or would you rather be apart and be looking for ways to get together?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, when we first met and were dating, we were apart and we looked for ways to get together every way that we could. I remember, as an example of this, I had a guy in one of my men's groups that just came to mind several years ago. And he was a school teacher, and he met his then wife at school. She worked at the school as well. Now, I think he or she, one of them was married when they met each other. So they had one of those school affairs. And it was secret. And, you know, every time they could get together, you know, they were fucking in broom closets, you know, any moment they were doing it. Okay. Fast forward a few years later, he's in this men's group and he says, you know, my wife and I, we've made an appointment for sex. I go, why the hell did you do that? Well, you know, we just don't have time anymore, and there's this and there's that. And I said, was that the way it used to be? Did you have to make appointments? Yeah, I'll meet you in the broom closet. No, you know, every chance they got, because they were apart looking for ways to get together. And so I told the guy, all right, what changed? Take a look at what changed. If now you're having to make appointments, put it on the calendar to have sex, what changed? You didn't used to have to do that. And he goes, well, my wife does like her daughter sleeping in the bed with us. I said, you might want to address that one, but that's a different issue. So the things that really fuel attraction when we first meet somebody, part of it is a little bit of the mystery, the not knowing when we're going to see them, you know, if they're going to still like us as much the next time we're around them. And that creates a tension, an emotional tension and energy that is invigorating and exciting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most couples, their lives are defined by all the mundane tasks they do together. You know, whether it's, and, you know, whether it's cooking dinner, washing dishes, taking the garbage out, making sure the kids have their homework done, watching TV, you know, cleaning house. Those are all great things. They all need to be done. But if that begins to define what the relationship is, that we do these boring, mundane, got-to-do things together, the relationship starts to feel boring, mundane. Yeah, we're together, but not particularly interesting.
Yeah. I've experienced this in my own relationship many times. And I can think back over the years, my wife, I can't even remember how long ago this was. She said the sixth love language that Gary Chapman should have written about would have been space. Like, what is your love language? And she's like, space. And I get that because I was thinking about why I travel. I travel to see the world, but I also travel to miss home.
Me too.
I want to leave the house so that when I come back to it, I appreciate it so much more.
Yeah, I look forward to every time I leave to go travel. I come here in Austin for this week. In 2 weeks, I'm going to go visit my granddaughter for her 18th birthday. I've done it every year since she was 2. You know, I used to stay in a hotel, but lately I've been renting this Airbnb out in the middle of a wheat field that no cell connection, nothing out there, and just owls and coyotes. It's just 15 minutes from where my son lives. And I look forward to that. But you know what's funny? Even though I look forward to it, like when it's time to like get ready and pack and get on the airplane and go, I'm thinking, why am I doing this? Do I really want to? Because we're also creatures of habit.
Yeah.
You know, there's that thing, well, I really could just stay here and I could get this work done. I could take care of that. And the dog wouldn't miss me and I wouldn't have to, you know, do this ahead. But I tell you what, is when you get away, it for most of us, it fills our buckets. And then we come home with this fullness, this energy, this little bit of otherness that our partner hasn't been experiencing. My second wife announced on our honeymoon, "Aren't you glad now that we're married we don't have to pretend to like sex anymore?" Well, I wasn't pretending, but I guess she was. So we had this like 14-year, almost sexless marriage. But I tell you what, after probably about 7, 8 years into it, I started working on me. Started going to therapy and I started like doing things like taking road trips with guy friends to go watch baseball games around the country. And she would always be insecure about me doing that. But I'd come home, and I remember after second or third road trip I came home, she goes, "I'm really a lot more attracted to you when you come back." Partly because I've been away, but I think partly because I've been with men.
Yeah.
Just with men, telling the same dumb joke over and over and over again, running it into the ground, just, being spontaneous, doing what we do best. One guy would always take care of the tickets for the flight. I'd always work with the scalpers to get the ballpark ticket. Somebody else would get the hotel. Just guys, doing that teamwork, making it happen. And that's just so invigorating to the masculine nervous system. We come back and we're not even thinking, what do I have to do to make my wife attracted to her, make my girlfriend attracted? They're just going, who is this guy?
Yeah.
It feels good to have him around.
Yep.
Now, they're going to want us to go away again, but they're not going to say that to us usually, just because, again, the going away is hard too, but it's also part of the tension that we need.
Yeah, so true.
Thanks for listening, fellas. If you want to hear more of Robert, he will be with us at Front Row Dads Live in Austin, Texas, December 4th through the 6th. Go to frontrowdads.com/live for more details. That's frontrowdads.com/live for details. And since you're listening now, you probably enjoyed this episode. So please think of one guy who is committed to growing as a man, a family man, and a businessman, and share this episode with him. Have a great day, fellas.